Hey guys, and welcome to Minecraft Mod tutorial number 8. So after the adventures of a custom chest, we're now going to go on to some other kind of miscellaneous stuff. So first I'm going to go for some multi-textures, so putting different texture on different sides, because the chest looks pretty stupid with the texture on the same side. All the textures on the one side, and I'm also going to do a server command, just a simple server command, just so that to show something else in this video. So you'll see I've got some images here put into my assets folder where the texture should go. So I've got this one that will go on the top of the chest. This is going to be the bottom. That's the side that we've already had, so I've changed that to large chest underscore side for the purposes of just keeping this simple. And I'm going to put something on the front because I'm also going to show you how to make it so that the chest front faces you no matter what, like whatever way you're facing. So we've got those 4 images. So I guess we better get started then. Okay. So let's go into our block class. So this is it here. So this is our thing from last time. This is our chest. Now what we need to do is we need to put a couple of icons up here because it doesn't work the exact same way, as you'll see in a minute. So I'm going to put the side only things in because I guess it helps in some way, but side only side.client, I'm going to copy that because I'm going to need 4 of those. Public static icon, so this is how you create an icon. So this, instead of using the block icon, what we're going to do is we're going to create our own icons and call them different textures, and then we're going to give the block a way of recognising what icon it should use depending on different circumstances. So we want one for the bottom, so I'm going to call it bottom icon, and I'm going to have to include some stuff. Why? Oh yeah, icon won't be. Come on, what are you doing? There we go. Second one there, not the javx.swing one, because that's something completely different. Side only and side. Come on. Okay. Now I need to do one of those for the other icons I've got. So I've got one for the top. Yet again, it's going to be public and static, and it's an icon top icon. The side one, so public static icon side icon, and then the one that's going to go on the side that's facing the player, so I'm going to call it the front icon. Down, got that copied. Front icon. Okay, so that's the 4 different icons we're going to use. One for the 3 sides that we're not using, one for the side that are not facing us, one for the side that is, the top and the bottom. Okay, so what we want is this method here, the register icons. We don't want this. This is now obsolete, this bit of code. So now what I need to do is, instead of registering the block icon, I need to register all of these. So bottom icon equals ir.register icons, and then you give it the string, so it's tutorial underscore mod, and then I've called it large chest bottom. Yeah, another underscore. I almost forgot what I was doing there. Large chest bottom. Okay, so that's the bottom one. And then we go on and we do the rest of them. ir.register icon, tutorial mod, large chest top, side icon, just hope I'm spelling all this right because I don't want to see any black and pink boxes when I load this game up in a bit. Side. So that's the texture we already had, the one that we gave the chest last week, and the last one is front icon. Large chest front. Okay, that's them all done. Okay, so that's all we've got to do there in the register icons. Now, that's fine, we've registered the icons now. The block knows the 4 different things it can use. How do we get it to tell you what it's to use? So we use a combination of the side number and also metadata from the block, and we give the block its metadata when you place it. So first I'm going to do the thing to choose the icon. So it's a public icon method and it's called getIcon. It takes 2 ints, one's a side and one's the metadata. And this is the things that we're going to use to make sure that that what we're doing. So sides 0 is for the bottom of the block and 1 is for the top of the block. And then you've got 2, 3, 4 and 5, which are the 4 sides, and they represent different directions. So you could have 2 for the south direction, and that would be okay, but then it would never face you. So that's what we're going to use metadata for. So first we want to get the top and the bottom ones out of the road. So test if sides equal to 0. If it is, all you want to do is return bottom icon. I hope I haven't got those the wrong way around. If I have, I'm going to be annoyed, but 0 and 1 are the top and bottom. I'm just doubting myself that I've done it right, but we'll find out. If side is 1, then you want to return the top item. Okay, now this is the point where we want to get it to check our what do you call it, direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to X out this method for now, and I'm going to come along and put down this method that's going to give us our metadata. So public void, and it's called onBlockPlacedBy. OnBlockPlacedBy. This takes a few parameters, a world. It takes 3 parameters, 3 ints, so x, y, and z as usual. What else does it take? It takes a thing called an entity living base, which is basically the player. I'll just call it base, and it also takes an item stack. And we're going to need to import this entity living base here. Okay, excellent. So this code is actually straight from the, I think it's the pumpkin class, because I know that the pumpkin, when I was first learning how to do this, and when I went to see if it changed from 1.6.2, I just went to the pumpkin class because it shows the face on the side of the block that's facing you. So I just took this basically straight from here. So got an int called L. Not really sure why it's called L. Let's call it something else. Just leave it there. I can't really think of it that's really good for it. And we've got something called math helper that's in the net Minecraft utils. That's not going to work yet. Is that already imported? No. Okay, well, we'll just go for it at the moment. So it's floor underscore double, and this takes a double and rounds it down to the nearest integer. Now let's see if we can import that now. Come on, import it. There we go. Net Minecraft util. Inside here we want a double, so I'm going to cast it to double just in case. So this is going to be, I'm going to put this in brackets as well because there's quite a lot of stuff here. So this is the living base thing, so base dot, and it's got a thing called rotation yaw. The rotation yaw is the direction, and you want to times that by 4.0f, floating point number, and divide it by 360, and that gets your base direction. Outside of these brackets you want to add on 2.5 and then capital D. Never seen that before, but we'll go with it. Outside these brackets, and then you put an and sign and then a 3, which will bitwise and everything. I'm not going to bother going into all the details of that. You just need to know what that does. What have I missed out here? Is there a bracket missing, maybe? 2.5D. Have I missed out a bracket? Double. From base mutation, you know that. Oh, that bracket's nowhere. That bracket has nothing to do with the end of that there. Okay. That was a bit weird. Okay, so we've got the L, which is our kind of direction thing. So now we need to update the world. And it's called set block metadata. Metadata with notify. This takes X, Y, Z. Oops. And it takes our direction L, and then there's a 2 in there for some reason. Let's see if we can hover over this and make sure. I see there's no documentation for that, so we're not going to know what that is just now. Okay, so that then that gives us our metadata between 0 and 3. That tells us what direction we're supposed to be facing. Now we can use this in our icon method. So basically what it is you've got to match up the numbers. So I'll put up a table of the different combinations. So you've got the side and the metadata. So the metadata is what's returned from that function we just made. The side is the side of the block. And then we've got a direction that you would be facing. So you've got the 3 and 0 that corresponds to, you want the block to show you the north face when you're facing it. And you can see the 2 and 2 is south, and if you go down there, that's all of that. What that basically means is if any of those combinations have happened, we want to return the icon that's for the front. Because that's what we want. We want the side and the metadata to match up to these directions. Otherwise, we're just going to return that side icon. So I'm just going to do a fancy inline if thing. I'll explain it slightly as I go along. It's not really that much different than, it just saves hundreds of lines. Okay, so we want to return if the side's equal to 3 and the metadata, oh, I'm getting bad at spelling that, metadata is equal to 0. So if the north side is facing you, you want to return front, else. So that means that this inline if says this is a condition before the question mark. The question mark signals the end of the condition. What happens if it's true? And then the colon, after the colon, is what happens when it's false. And you can chain these together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do side equal 3, metadata equal 0. Return front, else, test again for side equal to 2 and metadata equal to 2. If that's correct, then return front. Let's move this down, and then we want to side equal to 4 and metadata, I hope I've got these combinations right, equals 1. Front, that's not the right name, it's front icon. What am I doing? And the last one, side equals 5 and metadata equals 3. And then if none of those is right, then all we want to do is return side icon. So just quickly going over that again. If any of these combinations are true, so any of these combinations here before the question mark are true, it's going to return this thing here. Else it's going to move on, either move on to the next combination, or if we've run out of combinations, it's just going to return that side icon. So that's all that's doing. And that's the icon stuff finished. So we've got our 4 icons that we can use, and we've set it up so that the block will have these different textures on each of the sides, and it'll also determine which side you're facing and put the front on that. Okay, so the only thing left for us to do is to make a server command. And a server command is just like, the teleport command or what other ones you can do. You can give the player and give them the metem stacks. Just to demonstrate this quickly, I'm just going to do a thing that takes what, you type in like a command, then a string, and it'll print out the string again. But it's quite easy to do other things with it. So let's go for a new class then. Let's call it print command, because we're just going to print out to the screen. Print command. This class has to implement an interface called iCommand, and then it's going to moan at me to import this, and then it's going to moan that I haven't implemented all these methods. There we go, there's all the ones we need. Okay, so I'm going to start off by giving myself a list, and I'm going to use an array list because I like array lists, they're just nice. And this is going to be the aliases for the command. So this is different things you can type in to instantiate the command. I'm going to make a constructor here. And then, inside here we're just going to make aliases equal to a new array list. Just set it up, and then we're going to add our aliases to it. So add print. I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, you can add more than that, and it means you can do the command with more than one. So you could say, print or p, but I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, let's move on. Just need to make sure I'm doing all this right. Okay, so compare to is here because something in iCommand implements the comparable interface, and that just wants you to compare a command to another command. We're just going to return 0 because we don't need it here. Get command name. This is just a kind of internal name for your command, so I'm just going to call it, let's call it print command, like that. Oh, I deleted the return and thought I'd kept it in. Okay, there we are. Okay, command usage is the string that will come up. Like when it shows you how to make the command. So it's a kind of helper string, and it's going to be return. You're going to have to type print, and then after that you put your text in. And that's how I'm going to do it. So the text is the kind of bit that you can change inside those angle brackets. Get command aliases just wants to return this list of aliases that you've created. Easy enough. Oh, most of this is just kind of random code that we don't really use. I'm going to leave the process command because that's a big one until the end. Can sender use command? This can command sender use command? I'm going to return true here, meaning everyone can use this command. You could test in here if they're an op or something like that, and then only let them use that if they're op. And that's how you would do that, but anyone can print out to the screen. Okay, what else have we got? Add tab completion options. So this is, you know how when you try and set the game mode, you can press tab and it will show you, or you can set it to survival or creative or something. That's what this method does. So even though there's not really anything I can put in here, I'm just going to put it in. I don't need to call the name of the array list here because it's just returning a list, so I'm not going to bother saying it's a list of strings. But options.add, and I'm going to add hello. So it means that if I type test, then hit tab, it'll offer me hello. Quite strange, but really nothing you could put in here that would make sense. Okay, so this takes an iCommand sender. I forgot to kind of say that up there when I was doing these. A command sender and a list of string arguments, and this is the arguments that you get you give after the command name. So you say print, and then the first thing is your argument. That's your argument 0. So this is the first element of that array. And the last one in here, I believe there's nothing else I have to add. Nope, nothing else apart from this process one, is username index, and I have no idea what that does. Absolutely no idea. And it's just defaultly set to return false, and it doesn't do anything if you leave it at false. Haven't really been able to work out what that does. I haven't really tried much, I've just been dealing with this bit. So that, yeah, just return false from that. In a simple command anyway. I'll try and find out what it actually does. Okay, so this is the process command, and this does what you want it to do when they type this in. So really, first we're going to have to make sure they type in something after the print. It's not called args, it's called a string. If the length of it is less than 1, it means they haven't added any arguments after the print, and then there's nothing to type out. So we're going to have to print out a string saying blah blah blah, you're not, that was wrong, please enter in a new command. First though, I'm going to put the else statement in because these two lines are very similar, so I'm going to do the proper message and explain it that way. So you've got this thing called iCommandSender. Let's not get capital letters or anything, that's quite strange. Okay, this has a thing called sendChatPlayer. And that's the method you use to send a chat message to all the players. Okay, so this takes a chat message component, and after quite a lot of looking around, because this is a bit that's changed, as far as I'm aware, because it didn't used to have to do this. So you do chat message component dot, and then there's a func 111066 underscore d, and then that takes the string to print out. So I'm going to print command, just so that we know that that's what's doing it, and then a string 0. Okay, so that will take the a string 0 from these arguments and print it out after this colon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, because the invalid message is basically the exact same, only it doesn't print out that thing, it will send an error message to the user. So in here, instead of all of that rubbish, whoops, what happened there? Okay, inside there we want to do invalid arguments. Okay, so if they've not put enough arguments in, it's going to tell them, nah, that's not going to work. And if they've done it properly, it should print it out. Okay, so that's just done our command. Now the only thing we've got to do now is register it with the game. This is one of the things that hasn't really been updated as far as, well, it probably has been updated in the way that you could do it, but I haven't found the way to update it, and it still works in the old way, so I'm just going to leave it at that just now. You want an annotation here that's called server starting. And this is going to put a line through it because it's deprecated. Oh, I'll need to put something in first. Public void, and it's called server load. And this takes an FML server starting event. So it's similar to the methods above. And I need to import that. And probably need to import that well, and it'll cross it out, saying to use the event handler instead. Actually, it might only want you to do that. That'll be a little test for the end of the video. Anyway, inside here we just want to register it. Oops, that's bad spelling there. Event dot, and we want to register server command. And then we just want to put a new thing in there, a new print command. So we just want to call the constructor of the object in there. And there we go, so when the server's loading, it will load this command. Okay, so we've done multi-textures, and we've done the command, so let's have a go at this. Okay, so let's test this out. Just while I was waiting for Minecraft to load, I realised that I'd made a couple of mistakes. I haven't put, well, actually, a couple of mistakes that might be the reason for the block placing, the facing direction not working. Side only wasn't on top of these. Actually, let's take those out and make sure that they, because if they don't actually mean anything, that's okay. Also, this on block placed by, I'd put block twice there, and that's not going to work, so you need to take away. So it used to look like this, block placed by, and that was just me oversighting what I was doing. So take that away, and then you should be okay. But apart from that, that should work. So I'm going to see what this side only thing is. Make sure it's. I need to reload this. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just call it testing again, because I didn't actually do anything with that, and put it on creative. Go. Okay, and we're just going to spawn into the world. We're going to check our chest and our command. So yeah, actually what we'll do is, while we're waiting for the... I spawned in water, really? Right, there's a nice kind of flat piece of land that I can do this on. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, let's try our print thing. So print, let's just say hello. There you go, you've got print command hello, and if you type print and then like that, it'll come up saying, oh yeah, you can hit hello. So that's our options. Okay, let's go and check this chest then. So I'm going to get a chest, I'm going to get some stone as well so that I can prop it up so we can see the bottom. Oops. Okay, there we go. Right, so we've got the bottom, the front, the sides, and the top. So now just to make sure this is working, we're going to face this way. The front goes on that side. So you can see that I'm facing different ways, and this front texture is going to a different side every time. Excellent. So there we are. Put this off so that the music can go away. Okay. So what have we done here? So we have created our icons, registered them, chose the side based on the metadata and the side. These 4 combinations are the ones you want for the ones that are facing you. And we've also updated the block with the metadata when you place it to tell, what's the start of it. Okay, so what have we done then? We have created our icons, registered them, similar to what we did, only we haven't registered the block icon, we're registering our own. We've used the get icon method to use the metadata and the side to work out which texture to show, and the metadata is updated by this method. Okay, and also we did our command that just prints out whatever you type in. Okay, so I think that's it. So yeah, next time we will see. I'm planning on doing something about maybe trees and something about crops, like something that can grow over time. So that should be pretty interesting. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.